Hi, my name is Tyler Moore. I am a graduating senior at the University of Wisconsin-River Falls, and in May of 2017, I will be graduating with a degree in communication studies. Today, I am here to talk about my career goals and aspirations as I journey through life trying to figure out what my true purpose is. Some of my career goals is that I want to create my own nonprofit one day, and my nonprofit would help with education and evening the playing field for inner city students. Um, I feel like that in the inner city, a lot of students don't have the proper technology they need to learn to the best of their ability, so sometimes they get left behind. And I don't think this is fair. So I want to create a nonprofit so that we can level the playing field and that everybody can have access to the same tools and the same resources as all the other students in other places so that they can further their education without any other setbacks that you get from attending a school in the inner city. This is a goal that I want to do for myself, but as for my career goals, I actually want to receive a credential as an advanced certified fundraising executive, or for short, they call it an ACFRE, an advanced certified fundraising executive is somebody who has experience and has done a lot of work um, in the nonprofit sector of business. They are leaders in their communities, leaders to other organizations. They research and create their own documents about how to better your nonprofits. And with that credential comes a lot of prestige and a lot of responsibility. Um, and that would just be a great opportunity for me if I was able to receive that. A timeline to receive an ACFRE credential is that the average age of somebody receiving this credential is actually 41 years old. So it's not something that you could get right away um, in your career. It's something you have to work towards and work hard towards. Um, in order to receive it, though, you have to go to school. You have to get your bachelor's, and then you have to go and get your master's, and then you have to gain a lot of years, many years, 5+ years of experience in the nonprofit sector. Um, and then what you would do was apply to a school or an organization who has the classes that are required of you when you are trying to receive this credential. Um, the website I got all this information from comes from afpnet.org, and it's actually a website created by other ACFRE professionals. Um, After college, I really want to go right into working in um, human resources, and this is a part of the experience that I think I will gain for receiving that ACFRE credential. I mean, um, after that I wanna work in human resources and then actually start implementing my nonprofit as an after school program for Minneapolis public schools. Um, and this will not come right away. This is something that I will have to make blueprints, make mission statements, make why would I want this to even be a part of the curriculum, and how do I think it could help students. But these are some things that I want to do exclusively soon as I leave here at River Falls. From working in human resources, I want to gain experience in working with other people and different types and groups of people and how they work and how they function, so I can make my organization the best possible organization it could be. Very diverse in its way of thinking and the people that will work with me and for me. Um, and with the research I did about ACFREs, they really focus on fundraising and the opportunity that fundraising gives to organizations and how important it is to nonprofit organizations. Um, I did a couple informational interviews about people who started their own nonprofit organizations. And my first interview was with a man named Chris McNair. He is the founder of Christ Children Ministries. Um, he created this nonprofit because he wasn't satisfied with the programs and the opportunities that youth were given in South Minneapolis. So therefore, he made Christ Children Ministries not only to get kids to be productive and do productive things outside of school, but to give these children an outlet, someone they can come to, someone that they can confide in. And he being a pastor, he also wanted to lead all these children towards God and being a Christian and living your life the right way. With speaking with him, he spoke about his mission, he spoke about his statement, he spoke about all these things that his nonprofit was and what he still wants it to be. But the number one thing he talked about was funds and retaining donors and how to keep them on in your corner, so therefore you will be able to fund and finance any idea or vision that you have. He said without fundraising there would be no Christ Children Ministries, and there would a lot of good things in this world wouldn't happen if it wasn't for fundraising. So if you have a dream and you have a vision and you want to help people, all that is fine and all that is very noble, but this is something you can't do without the proper funds. He believes that fundraising is the essential and vital component to keeping an organization successful and actually being able to help people. The second interview I did was with the founder of the Banyan community. Her name is Joni Essenberg. She also started her nonprofit in South Minneapolis with the same type of vision and the same type of um, mission statement as Chris Nair. She also wanted to give students the opportunity to be a part of something that was very positive. Because when she said that she moved to South Minneapolis, specifically the Phillips community in South Minneapolis, the crime rate had been at its all time high. And she seen that there were a lot of recreational parks that these students could go and play basketball and hang out with for a certain amount of time. But this didn't stop them from being on the streets because their families weren't able to also be a part of these programs in this organization. So if your family is not able to come and also get themselves off the streets and get themselves doing something productive, then it's easily for you to fall back to what your family is doing. So Joni created something that wouldn't just involve students and youth and young people. She wanted to create an organization that started with families and built community and made everybody seem as one, building towards a better future and a more safe future for the youth in her community. And once again, we talked about her mission statements, her goals and aspirations, but what it came down to is that fundraising and being able to retain donors is the reason why she gets to do the things she wants to do. Without these, she wouldn't have anything she has. She now has a multi-million-dollar facility of her own. When this organization started out, a $1 building they bought from the government. So you can see the progress there, but she said fundraising is the essential, is similar to what Chris said, is very essential to what you want to do in the nonprofit sector. And this just goes hand in hand with my career aspirations and receiving that ACFRE credential. If I could receive that credential, that means I will be an expert in fundraising, an expert in how to run nonprofit organizations. So not only will I have my own nonprofit organization, I will be able to run my nonprofit organization to the best of my ability, which is expert ability, which will probably be rather fine. A lot of trends in the fundraising sector is that crowdfunding and crowdfunding and other ways of retaining donors and getting new donors is happening today. We see an exponential growth and social media presence of nonprofits. That is a great way to get your voice out, get your vision out, and get people looking and wondering what's going on. That's another trend. Um, we see all these things happening around us. Another trend is that a lot of nonprofit organizations aren't being able to stay open because of the lack of fundraising. And even though that's been a problem since the beginning of nonprofit organizations began, it's going to continue to be a problem because fundraising is so essential that if you don't have the proper fundraising, you cannot continue a business with no funds. Though the name of the business is nonprofit, you need profits to keep things going. And profits in the sense that you can pay employees, you can pay for facilities, you can pay for programs, you can pay for things like that. So we're not looking to get rich off of these donors or off of these people who donate and help us raise funds, but this is something you need to keep an organization going. That's for any business. Um, another trend that you see is that organizations are now having dual purposes. So not only are these organizations fighting for a cause of education, their cause is actually helping another cause. So if you make an organization that's helping education, you will now be an advocate for equal opportunity, equal opportunity for students and educational rights. So that's the trend that you're starting to see with nonprofits, is that fundraising has got um, very special. They're now using social media. They're now using crowdfunding. The other trend is that ACFREs are now being hired to organizations outside of themselves and outside of their own organization to come in and help with fundraising because it's such a big deal. Um, a couple articles that I read on fundraising. One was by Gail Nelson, and it was about how to retain donors and donor retention rates and stuff like that. And he just spoke about how many people overlook the need for fundraising and the need for donor retention, and that what's causing them to fail. Another article that I read from Nonprofit Quarterly was by a woman named Samo P. Joyo, and she just talked about how the lack of funding and the articles that you hear about the lack of funding will continue to be a problem, as long as it is a problem. Um, and then, since funding and fundraising is such a big deal in a nonprofit organization, this is not going anywhere. What I learned really about doing all this research and doing these interviews and summarizing these articles and reading and all that, I learned is you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the experience, and you have to have the passion to run a nonprofit. This is not something that you could get into it and be you know it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for somebody who easily gives up. It's not for somebody who easily gets down on themselves, because there will be a lot of dark times that you feel like your vision is not being seen or your vision is not living out to what you want to be, but you have to be persistent. You have to go out and find donors and find a way to keep those donors. Donors love to see results. So show the people who are giving money for your vision that their money is not going to waste and that you are having results, and you can create a metric system showing you how successful this has been. What I learned is that things don't come easy. Just like the long road ahead of me of becoming an advanced certified fundraising executive, that I also have a long road in creating my own organization. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are and how much you want to help people. You have to have a proper plan. In proper plan made in order to execute it. And without this proper plan, you will fail. And a lot of people fail in the nonprofit sector of business. And to avoid that, I want to proper schooling, I want the proper experience, and I want to actually work for a nonprofit organization before creating my own. Um, with me graduating in May from UWRF, I would just be starting my journey. And I think I'm in the right direction. Some of the advice that some of the people gave me was just to keep going. The days that things happen and they don't seem like things are happening the right way, you just got to keep going. And if you keep going, things will start to look brighter, things will start to look up, and things will start happening for you. Um, Once again, my name is Tyler Moore. I'm a graduating senior at UWRF, and and that is all I could tell you about my career goals and how to be successful in the nonprofit sector of business. Thank you.